So, episode 5. But first, there are new rules on YouTube. I can't swear in the first 5 minutes of any video. So, Apocalypse Tours, we have a solution. Every time I'm about to say the F word, the S word, the B word, the P word, the C word, or any of those words, you're gonna see this guy. Yep, so every time I go to say, what the... You're just gonna see Ed Sheeran. So, The Last of Us, what a pile of absolute freaking complete and utter... I'm out. I quit. I can't watch any more of this. This is just absolute garbage of the highest possible order. Things started so well. I remember that first review that I posted when I went absolutely crazy saying how wonderful this show was. And when I think back, and I did go back to that first episode, it was great until about 40 minutes in. We went to 2023, and since then it just went on that downward spiral, didn't it? You know, what the... So, episode 2, I enjoyed it, but I could already see very worrying narratives being sown into the storyline, and I could feel the ideology stick being taken from the drawer. And on episode 3, which was a real what the... Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran, Ed Sheeran. It was a real Ed Sheeran of an episode. I have no problems with a gay love story. I have no problems with LGBTQ plus issues being discussed in television shows. Unfortunately, I'm just bored of it now. I'm bored of being preached at. I'm bored of being told that I'm something that, quite frankly, I'm not. Because, as my gran used to say, you know, never judge a book by its cover. So, episode 3 served as a plot device so Joel could get a car. And we created we didn't create, Naughty Dog and HBO created a 60-minute LGBTQ plus love story so Joel can get a car. Now, kind of offensive to the LGBTQ plus community, really, isn't it? You know, let's shoehorn a storyline in for inclusivity. Let's tick those boxes and get that bonus payment and make everyone feel good about themselves. So, what did you do? Well, you just used a group of people to deliver a message and pick up your inclusivity bonus, and at the same time Joel got himself a car. So anyway, we got into episode 4 and I was kind of on the slide, and then we saw the soccer mom. Did she turn out to be called Caroline, the stumpy woman with the bad anorak who was leading an army? Now that's when I just completely shut off, because throughout episodes 1 and 2, Joel was building up the fact that out there, after 25 years of the apocalypse, we've seen the absolute worst of mankind. Does that trigger you? Mankind? Am I not allowed to say that? We've seen the worst of personkind. Oh, Ed Sheeran. So anyway, I was really excited for this. I wanted to see what was going on out there. I kind of had memories of The Walking Dead when it was good and we were seeing the worst of humanity in the apocalypse, and in came the soccer mom. Ugh. So, you know, how are you supposed to believe that this woman who has nothing other than sarcasm at her disposal managed to lead an army? Fortunately, we don't get to explore that story arc because she gets well and truly mullered by a giant monster in episode 5, which, if we're being perfectly honest, was more filler. There was a great 10 minutes of action in episode 5, but it just all feels like filler to me. When I first came at this show, I got it completely wrong. I got called out in my first video because I said, oh great, this is a 3-part drama. HBO have adapted the Last of Us video game into a 3-part drama. That's really clever. This is going to be great. And then someone told me it was, is it 9 or 10 part series? Oh, well, you're really dragging it out now, aren't you? You know, how do you drag this video game out into 10 hours of television? Alright, it takes a lot longer to play the Last of Us game, but you're immersed in it. Playing a game's an immersive experience. Watching a TV show's a passive experience. You need to entertain me. Which, you know, we're taking a paper-thin story here and we're dragging it out to its absolute limits by the use of ideology. Come on. This is terrible. I can't deal with this anymore. Like, seriously, the only reason I started watching this show was because I'm starting a YouTube channel because my life is so screwed. This is what I'm left with. But I'm loving this. This is brilliant. But even though only 6 of you watch my videos. But the point remains. I started watching this with a critical eye, and I ended up just watching it with one eye on Twitter. You know, it's boring. I'm bored. This could have been something great, and I'm just out. Another reason I'm out is I hear they've just delayed part 3 of the video game, so that tells me the story isn't even complete. They're already talking about season 2. I read all the backlash to part 2 of The Last of Us game, which just sounded bizarre and insane. Like, why would you do that? Unless someone's dropping a massive ideology check in your lap. Which they probably are. You know, I'd have a lot more respect for companies like HBO and Naughty Dog and people like Ian Drunkman or whatever he's called, if they just came out and said, you know what, I've just been given some checks and balances to complete as far as inclusivity and delivering certain agendas go, and as a result, I'm selling out and taking the cash. You know what? I wouldn't have a problem with that, but just this current approach to making TV shows, I'm just kind of done with it, you know? If it wasn't for doing this YouTube thing, I would have ended my association with TV shows when Better Call Saul finished, because as far as I was concerned, they hit a note of absolute perfection, and it was always going to be tough finding something that would live up to that, you know? This is a TV show about zombies that we have with The Last of Us, based on a highly successful video game. I wasn't expecting high-rolling drama. I was expecting to be entertained. And I'm not being entertained, so I'm not going to watch it anymore. It's that simple. And just, you know, as a final comment, yeah, that's all I have to say. Because every time I go to swear on YouTube now, it's all going a bit Ed Sheeran. Thanks a lot. I hope to see you in the next video. By the way, I'm new here on YouTube, and I'm here because I just want to interact and have a chat with you guys. I'm out here on my own. I'm hiding in the jungle. It's a great story. I'll tell you about it one day, but please drop me a comment. I'd love to have a chat with you. This is Apocalypse Tours. Thanks very much, and we'll see you in the next video, I hope.